Baji Rankin, and I'm Executive Director of the New Mexico Association for the Education of Young Children. It's a nonprofit organization in New Mexico, and our mission is to promote the well-being of all young children birth to age 8 through professional development and advocacy. And it's an organization I really enjoy being part of. We work with a lot of other groups, early childhood groups, and groups across the continuum of growth and development, and it's a great way to work to help every kid, every child get a great start in life. This year, the Children's Cabinet Days are the first 3 days of the legislative session, and I think it's a great way to start the session. Just as getting the right start for a child is so important, getting the right start for the legislative session is important too. Putting those values first of looking at early childhood, how to get that right, how to support families and children so that they can get off to a great start. And then today the emphasis on school age and elementary, middle, high school age students, and then tomorrow with the emphasis on youth development and youth, promoting youth, positive youth development is so important as well. And when we do those 3 days together, back to back, holding hands, as it were, really it emphasizes the importance of that continuum of getting off to the right start, and then that makes all the rest of growth and development so much easier. And children will be able to reach their full potentials when the support is given early in life. When a child is born, well, even before a child is born, the mother's health and the sort of physical as well as emotional and mental, the health of the mother and the family is so important. That sets a tone for the child. And then when the child is born, there is so much learning still going on. The brain is in process of development, and what happens in those really first days, first weeks and months is so important. The fine motor functioning, the cognitive functioning of young children, the development that happens and that peaks within the first 18 months sets a tone and sets a context for all the rest of the growth that happens for the rest of the child's life. So really helping each child develop vocabulary, developing a positive relationship with the caregiver, often the mother, the father, aunt, grandmother, the child developing the sense that the people out there in the world around him or her are people that will be responsive and is so important. And when children have that right from the very beginning, sensing that the world responds to them and that there'll be a back and forth sharing, the world that will be sensitive to them, that makes for that trusting relationship with the world. And children give us cues and clues and about how to interact with them. And when we are able to see those cues and respond to them positively, then that growth of the growth of the child will take off and be much more positive. For instance, after an intense interaction, even an infant of a few days will look away and really be asking that, I need to pause here for a moment. And if the adult tries to engage the child too much, that's not so healthy for the child, or leaves the child alone too much, that's not healthy for the child. So it's really being responsive to what's going on with the child, giving back and forth, playing with words, with touch, and certainly with nutrition and safety and warmth and all parts of development. And what happens in those first years, first months, really influences what happens to children later on. I also say it is never too late. It is never too late for a child in school age or youth to turn around and to have remarkable miracles happen and recoveries, and that's never too late, so it's always worth investing. However, the return on investment when we invest when children are really young is so much higher.